All right. Welcome everyone. My name is Marina Rose. I'm the e-resources consultant here at the Idaho Commission for Libraries. I think I've met both of you who are on the call today. So we're going to just be doing a brief overview of the lili.org site. I don't anticipate it will take more than 30 minutes today, but it will depend on your questions. So as I'm going along, I tend to go very fast. So if you want to just pop your questions in the chat or unmute yourself, I'd be happy to answer those in real time. So a little background on LiLI. LiLI stands for Libraries Linking Idaho. It was created in 1998 and given official uh, the budget was established for it by the state at that time. So it's just a way to connect our libraries and residents across the state in lieu of a statewide library consortium. Let's see if I can go forward. All right, so there, as I'm sure you know, there are a ton of databases and resources on lili.org. I pulled out just a few featured resources here. We won't have time to go through all of them, and I won't be really going over any of them except maybe a very brief overview. We have a ton of great recorded webinars and tutorials on individual databases that our vendors provide, and I'll show you how to access those today. The purpose of today's session is just to give you an overview of the website, how to find things, and then there is one resource that I will show you how to use. All right, so we'll go ahead and close out of the presentation and go to lili.org, and feel free to follow along with me as I'm going. So LILI.org, this is our homepage for LiLI. We're going to be going through the site from the top to the bottom. So at the top here, we have our navigation bar with our logo, which if you click on this at any point as you're navigating the site, this will take you back to this home screen. We have our About button, which just gives you a little information about what the purpose of LiLI is. That it's free access online tools for a variety of different reasons. And then we have our sponsorship here. Most of our funding, as I said, does come from the state, but there is some funding that comes from the federal government through the Institute of Museum and Library Services. Next, we have our FAQs, or frequently asked questions. These are not going to be database specific. This is more general FAQs, technical issues. So not very many here. If there's something that you need help with and you're not seeing it on this very short list of FAQs, you can use this contact us button here. You can use the contact form that's located under the contact button on the top navigation bar. This goes to an inbox that's monitored by more folks at ICFL than just me. So if I happen to be out of the office or something, these will get responded to, but you're also welcome to reach out directly to me. All right. And then, as I mentioned earlier, there are a ton of great recorded webinars from our vendors. You'll find those under the Guides tab up here on the navigation bar. You'll also find my contact information right here. So those of you who are familiar with the guides page may notice that there used to be 4 options here, and there are just 3. We combined all of our LiLI tutorials under one page instead of 2 to make it easier for you to find exactly what you're looking for. But I'll go through each of these just so you can see what's available. So this first one is our free resources for genealogy researchers. Those of you who have been in Idaho libraries for a while may remember that ICFL used to subscribe to MyHeritage and made that available through LiLI. We no longer do that, so we just link out to resources that are available for free for folks. So up here at the top, you'll see general resources, which are national or federal resources, as well as like Family Search, which is run by the LDS Church. And then if you scroll down, you'll see Idaho-specific resources. So obviously the Idaho State Historical Society, the Idaho Genealogical Society, and then perhaps a lesser known resource, which is Ferret, which I will open that so you can see it. There has been some confusion in the past because it has LiLI in the URL. This just means ICFL hosts the site, but it is updated and run by a staff member at the Boise Public Library. So if you do have questions about Ferret and you reach out to me, I will redirect you to the staff person who runs that site. You can find their info, I believe, under the About page. Yep, and there's the contact form. All right, so we'll close out of that and go back to our guides page. Any questions about the genealogy resources before I move on to the next thing? Okay, great. So then the next option in the guides page is get to know the LiLI tools. And this is the page that was recently updated. We combined all of the LiLI tools into this one page so that it's easy to find. It's organized by the particular database, or tool. So if you were looking for a recorded webinar on Consumer Health Complete, you'd click that database name. Each of these tabs is going to have additional tabs under this jump to navigation at the top. So you can jump down immediately to the webinar recordings and see that here. As we scroll up, we'll see there are promotional materials available. Some of these will give you a link to the ICFL market for our promotional materials, or it will link out to the vendor's promotional materials. There are additional tutorials that are not our webinar recordings that you can access, and then general information about the databases. On the home page for Get to Know the LiLI tools, you'll find more general information that isn't database specific. So we have our advanced search skills video here, and then a recent recording that I did demonstrating how to use our school site for LiLI, which is LiLI for Schools, located at lilischools.org. All right, and then moving on, the last tab is Share Idaho Tutorials and Training. For those of you throughout the state who participate in Share Idaho, or who don't, that is our statewide OCLC services that we just negotiate the contract for folks. So that's cataloging metadata and interlibrary loan. If you need help or extra training on any of those tools, this is where you'll find it. So if you need help on cataloging, you'll click cataloging and metadata subscription, and then there will be subtopics that you can click on here. So if we clicked World Share Collections Manager, that would take us to the links for Collections Manager, and this will link out directly to OCLC's site and their trainings and resources. All right, any questions about the guides page or any of the things I just showed you? And for those who are just joining, you feel free to post your questions in the chat or unmute yourself. So you know, if you do unmute yourself, you'll be in the recording. So if you don't want to be part of the recording, you can post those questions in the chat. So we'll go back to the home page just by clicking our logo up here in the upper left-hand corner. And you'll see the final tab in our top navigation bar is Publication Finder. I will be going over that in more depth at the end of today's session, so we'll come back to it. As we scroll down, this is one of the most important pieces of the homepage is our search bar, and this is often where folks get confused, so I wanted to spend a little bit of time here. There's different ways you can search or browse for particular databases on the LiLI website. So if you know exactly what you're looking for, let's say you're looking for novelist, you can type that into the search here, click go, and then that's going to pull up a list of all of the databases or tools that have Novelist in the title. So you'll see in addition to our Novelist Plus and Novelist K8, there's also the Gale ebook Contemporary Novelists. Once you find the database you want to open, you just click Access Resource, and that will take you to the authentication page and then the resource itself. Now, if we wanted to browse instead of search for a particular database, we come back up to the top and clear our search bar, and we can browse by topic or user group. So if we click the drop down for topics, you can see there's a few different topics available here. We're going to use elementary as our example. And again, you'll press the go button, and then it's going to bring up a full list of databases that have been tagged with the topic elementary. So you'll see there's a few Gale ebooks here at the top, and then you scroll down and you'll find additional databases that are tagged as elementary level. All right, so then it's going to be the same for user groups. So if we clear our topics, go to user group drop down, and for this example, we'll use college university, click go, and that will give us a full list of all of the resources or databases that are tagged with the user group college university. You'll see there's quite a few here. So then let's go ahead and clear that. You can also choose to just scroll through all of the resources and databases. There are quite a few, so it might take a little while to go through, but that is an option. Or if you know what letter the database you're looking for starts with, but you're not sure of the spelling. So for example, say we're looking for Learning Express, we can click the L, and that will take us to all of the databases and resources that begin with the letter L. All right, any questions about searching or browsing? Okay, we'll go back to the home page. I will move right on down. So this is a new feature on the home page, this featured database ribbon. We're promoting Learning Express very heavily this first quarter of the year, so that's our featured database. This will change, should change quarterly to whatever the featured database of the quarter is. And that's just a way to highlight some of our resources so folks don't have to dig as far down to find them. Scrolling down, these are our most popular databases. There will always be 8 here. This doesn't change much because the most popular databases don't change very often. Again, just a way to make those databases more prominent so folks don't have to dig down as far. If we keep scrolling down, we'll see top resources for high school and college students. This again will always be 5, but it does change periodically. I think I just updated it earlier this month to take off some resources that weren't as useful for that age group and add different ones. So you may see that change periodically. Same thing for top for K-8 here. And then at the bottom are what we call our hidden gems. So just not necessarily databases, but resources available through LiLI that we think are really phenomenal that folks don't necessarily know that we have, right? And so one of them is consumer reports, which I'll talk about a little bit more when I go through Publication Finder. All right, and then finally down at the bottom, we have our bottom navigation bar. You'll see on the left-hand side under About Us, these are going to be all the same tabs as your top navigation bar. So we won't go over those again. I want to go over the resources. So if we open LiLI Branding in a new tab, and let's say you wanted to link to a specific LiLI database or resource on your website, this is where you can pull the logos and images that are high resolution to do that on your website. So depending on how your website is set up, you can just right click and copy and paste the logo, or you can save it and then upload it, or you can grab the HTML code right here and put it into your website. So that's the LiLI link. If you scroll down, you'll see the Funded by LiLI button. So if for some reason you wanted to add that to your website, you can. My contact information is down here in case you have any issues with that or need a different way to upload it to your website. And then again, if you wanted to link to individual databases, we have the logos for those here under branded LiLI logos. And our web designer just recently redid all of these logos so that they don't look like they were created in 1998 anymore. I think they're really beautiful, just simple logos. Again, you can just save the image or copy the HTML code, however it works for your library's website. All right, so that's LiLI Branding. Let's close out. And then our LiLI promotional materials. As I mentioned when I was going over the guides page, there are ways to either download or order promotional materials for any database that you want to highlight and share with your patrons or your users. And this is one of the ways to do so on the ICFL market. This used to be the LiLI Materials Store. I believe it was last fall. We combined all of ICFL's promotional materials into one marketplace so that folks who need materials don't have to go searching across multiple websites. So that LiLI Materials promotional materials button that I pushed will take us directly to the LiLI site, but if you wanted to see what else was available, you can just click on all ICFL promotional materials up here at the top. And these are all free materials for you to order for your library. They ship for free, so no cost at all to you. We've been working on adding more Spanish materials to this site. So if you click on the language drop down and you're just looking for Spanish materials, you can limit it to that. And then you may have to reload the page for that to take effect. Yes. So then you can see the materials we have available that are just in Spanish. We also have some that are available in English and Spanish. All right. Any questions about branding page or the promotional materials page or anything I've gone over so far? All right. Seeing no questions, we'll move right along. So I mentioned earlier that I wanted to show you all Publication Finder. So that can be accessed down here at the bottom under Hidden Gems. You'll see this square dedicated to it. But I'm going to scroll back up to the top and click Publication Finder at the top. As I mentioned earlier, when you click on a database, excuse me, this takes me to the overview page just to tell you what the database or the resource is. And then I click Access Resource. And it looks like I've already authenticated in my browser at some point today. If it's your first time logging in or opening a database in your browser, it will ask you for your zip code and city, and then it will take you to the home page. So Publication Finder is EBSCO's tool to find specific journals, magazines, or books that are available in their databases. So that's where you can find Consumer Reports articles. I worked in public libraries before coming to ICFL, and I know Consumer Reports was a very popular magazine in our library. And so I was super excited when I found out that folks could access the articles online as well, because there were only so many issues we could carry. So there's a few different ways for you to search or browse for publications in Publication Finder, right? You'll see there's a search bar here, and then there's some browsing options down here. So we'll go ahead and start with the search bar, and I'm going to search for Consumer Reports, and we'll do the buying guide. And then you'll see this gives you just a brief overview of the particular publication, right? And then it will tell you what database full text access is available through. So we do subscribe to Master File Premier, so I can click on that. And this should take you to just the details overview for that particular publication, which will include the years that full text is available for you right here. So let's say we want the latest buying guide 2024. And of course, there's only one buying guide each year, so there will only be one option that pops up. If we click on that, this will take us to a list of all of the articles that were published in that issue. So if you know exactly what article you're looking for, you can do an advanced search, which will add to the search we've already done that it is showing right here. So you can type in your article name here in the next line. I don't have a particular article in mind, so I'll just kind of scroll through to show you. Let's look at clothes dryers. And if you're looking at a publication that is very image rich, you'll want to choose PDF full text because this is going to give you a view of the article exactly as it would look in the physical copy, right? So if we looked at the other option, HTML full text, we'd be missing a lot of information because Consumer Reports Buying Guide has these charts and graphs to give you a comparison of different brands, right? And then there are options to print or download for offline viewing. So let's go back. There are also ways that you can limit your search. Generally won't need to use those if you're within one issue of a publication because as you can see, there's only 35 results. So it's pretty easy to scan through. All right, so let's close out of this and I'll show you some other browsing options. So you can see our browsing options are still up here on the top right-hand side, even though we're not on the home page for Publication Finder. So let's do Browse Databases, and these are going to show you the databases that are available that you can look at the publications within. So I know we subscribe to Academic Search Premier, so I'll click on that. And then this will give you a full list of publications within that database. So you can see here on the left, there are almost 4,000 peer-reviewed journals, but there are other resources available as well. So over 1,000 books, reports, newspaper articles, etc. And then you'll see under each of these, it's going to say full text access is at Academic Search Premier because that's the database we're searching. And then you'll see the full list of publications. There's over 6,000 in this database. All right, and then finally, browse subjects. So this would be for if you weren't exactly sure what publication you were looking for, but you had a subject in mind. Let's do education, because that has a good number of publications. And then we'll do theory and practice of education. And then this is going to show you there are over 200 peer-reviewed journals. If we scroll down to the bottom, you'll see just additional topics that you can search through. And we'll see here some of these resources, like this book, will be available full text access in more than one database. Right, and some of these have this little lock button. I believe that means it's unlocked. Let's see if we can open this. Nope, apparently that's locked. So we know we have Academic Search Premier, so let's click on that. And this should give you the same view we saw with Consumer Reports Buying Guide. It'll give you that publication detail overview, and then you can choose your issues or the issue you want to look at over here on the right-hand side. All right, so let's go back to our homepage for Publication Finder. We'll click Search Home. And then you can see there's this Browse Publications by Name option. So let's say I wanted to search for library journal, but I can't remember maybe exactly how it's spelled or if it's one word or two words. So I'll click the L, and then that will change my options down here on the second line, and I'll do LJ. You'll see LJ Library Journal is the first thing to pop up. Here again, we can see it's available in multiple databases. We'll go ahead and just open it in Academic Search Premier. And again, you'll see the details page and then the issues and articles. So if we wanted, say we missed the last issue of 2023 and we're looking for a particular article, because I'm pretty sure if you try to access them through the Library Journal website, there's a paywall. You can access those articles here. And you can look at the HTML full text or PDF full text. If you're not worried about images, again, HTML full text is going to just be text as you see here, but you do have the option to have those articles read aloud to you. All right, so that was a very quick tour of Publication Finder. Are there any questions about that? All right, seeing none, I'll go back to the LiLI home screen. So that was, like I said, a very quick overview of just the lili.org website itself. That's all the content I had prepared for you, but I'm happy to answer questions if there's something you want me to demonstrate or look at, or if there were questions you had that I didn't address during this presentation. And again, feel free to drop your questions in the chat or unmute yourself. I'll go ahead and pop my presentation back up. So here are some additional links for you for additional trainings. You can also find these under the guides page for trainings for each of the databases. But EBSCO, World Book, and Gale are the major vendors that we use. So I've included their training links here. And then if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. And thanks all for coming today. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.